it's been a while since I made a video, partly because I really just had no motivation to do it, but I forced myself to get ready and come on and make a video. I've just been in like a funk lately, and that's kind of like what I want to talk about in this video. I'm going to switch up topics a little bit. I'm going to give an update on our fertility part of it, but in today's video I really just wanted to talk about depression and anxiety. I think it's really important to talk about these topics because mental health is a really big issue that a lot of people suffer, and a lot of times it just gets brushed off, or there's such a stigma to it that people are scared to talk about it. They're scared of being judged. So a lot of people just suffer in silence and don't say anything to anybody. I've suffered from depression and anxiety for many years. I don't really remember exactly the first time I felt depressed or anxious, but it's been a while. I have been on medication for it. A few years ago, I started off taking Lexapro, and it worked okay for me. It did help with my anxiety. It was mostly after I started a new job. I was feeling really anxious and decided to go to the doctor and finally do something about it. So I did take Lexapro for a while, and then when I found out that I was pregnant with Noah, I stopped taking it. I know it is safe to take in pregnancy. They said I could stay on it if I wanted to, but I just really didn't want to risk anything, and I didn't want to take it if I didn't have to. So I felt okay to come off of it. So I didn't take it the whole time I was pregnant with Noah. And then after Noah was born, I did suffer a little bit of postpartum depression. But I didn't go back on my medication. I just kind of worked through it and it got better. And then eventually I was really depressed again. It was really affecting my daily life. So I decided to go to my doctor and talk with her about possibly a better alternative to an anxiety depression medication that would also be safe for pregnancy, since I was trying to get pregnant and I still am trying to get pregnant. So I wanted something that was safe to take during pregnancy. So we decided to try Zoloft, which Zoloft is a category B pregnancy medication, and Lexapro, I believe, is a category C pregnancy medication. So category C medications are still safe to take, but a category B just made me feel a little bit better. So I started the Zoloft. I just started off on a low dose. I believe it was 50 milligram dose, and it helped me a little bit. I don't think it was like a significant difference. It did help a little, but I decided to come off of it about a month or two ago. I was still on it while we were trying to get pregnant, and obviously we're still trying to get pregnant, and I just felt okay to come off of it. I didn't really want to take it anymore, so I decided to stop it, which I know you really shouldn't stop it cold turkey, but I did, and I felt okay for a while, but now I've just really been in a funk again. I've been really down and depressed and just don't feel like doing anything. Most days I don't even feel like getting out of bed, but I have to because I'm a mom and my son needs me. So I have to force myself to get out of bed. Most days I do like the bare minimum of what I need to get through the day. So that consists of feeding Noah breakfast, lunch, and dinner, playing with him, making sure he's safe, taking care of him, changing his diapers, just providing for him. Most of the times I don't even feel like taking care of myself, let alone another human, but of course he's my son and I love him and I'm going to take care of him. So if anything, I have to force myself to be there for him, even though I don't even want to take care of myself. So most times I don't feel like making breakfast for myself. I don't feel like eating. I know, like, before I've talked to like a counselor, and he was like, well, if you're already making breakfast for your son, why wouldn't you just make breakfast for yourself? And to me, it's like, I am just doing the bare minimum. Like, I make the least amount. Like, I don't even feel like eating the stuff I'm making him sometimes. Like, I just don't have an appetite for it. I'm just not hungry. So recently I have been forcing myself to have breakfast because we're trying to get pregnant, and it's not good if I'm not eating, so I have to eat. But a lot of people think that depression is just being sad, and depression is not just being sad. Depression is not wanting to get out of bed in the morning. Depression is not wanting to be around friends and family. Depression is having no motivation or no energy to do anything. it's not just being sad. I can still go out and have a great time and have fun, and my depression is still there. It doesn't mean I can't be happy or smile or laugh or have a good time. That doesn't mean I'm not depressed anymore. It's still in the background, and it's not just about being sad 24/7. Also, like with my anxiety, I have a lot of social anxiety, so even doing these videos is like way out of my comfort zone and something I never expected that I would even do. But I don't know, just one day I decided that I was going to get out of my comfort zone and do a video. And, you know, I see a lot of things saying, like, you can't just stay in your comfort zone all the time. In order to be successful, you have to come out of your comfort zone. So I'm trying to put myself out there and come out of my comfort zone and make videos and try to get over some of this social anxiety. A lot of times, like, I don't even want to go out to the store because it just makes me so anxious. Like, I don't like going through drive-thrus. I don't like going into places. I just get really anxious about it. So, I don't know why. It's not something I can just turn off and say, like, you know, why are you feeling like this? It's just something my brain does, and that's how it is. Even just like with my anxiety, I always think of like the worst case scenario, like the worst possible thing happening, even though it sounds ridiculous. Like, it drives my husband crazy because he's like, this is not going to happen. I'm like, but it could happen. He's like, it could, but it's really rare. So, you know, try not to worry about it. And I'm like, yeah, it's rare, but it could happen. So it's just like, I can't turn that off. My brain, that's just what my brain thinks. It always goes to the worst possible case, and that's just how it is. And he's learned to laugh at it, and I laugh at it because I know I'm being ridiculous sometimes, but that's just how it is. I mean, I watched like way too much Criminal Minds and Law and Order, and it just makes my mind go crazy and think of like the freaky things that can happen, because some of those episodes are like real things that could happen, so it just like freaks me out. But yeah, so like that's just part of what anxiety is. I'm trying to like move because I'm in the camper and the blind is like, the sun is shining through the blind and putting this line on me, but whatever. So yeah, that's what anxiety and depression is. It's really hard for people to understand if they haven't experienced it themselves. My husband doesn't suffer from depression or anxiety besides, you know, like the normal anxiety you get over normal things. And of course he gets sad over normal things, but he doesn't experience being depressed over time. So sometimes it's hard for him to understand how I'm feeling. And I do admit I don't always express how I'm feeling to him because sometimes I just don't even want to talk about it. So it is hard for him because he tries to understand, but he hasn't gone through it himself. So it is a little bit difficult for him to understand exactly what I'm feeling. So that's kind of why, like, I want to make this video as well, so people who aren't experiencing anxiety or depression can kind of understand what it's all about, and it's not just about being sad or like overthinking things and you can't just turn it off. Like, that's how your brain functions. So he is very understanding about it, though. He does try to learn about it and understand my feelings rather than just being like, why are you acting like this? Why are you crazy? Like, just turn it off. Like, why are you feeling like that? That's ridiculous. He never says those things to me because he knows it's not ridiculous in my mind. So he is really supportive in that way. And so right now I've just been feeling really depressed. I know I probably shouldn't have stopped my medication. Maybe I should restart it. I don't know. I just feel like it didn't make that significant of a difference, and I'd rather not be taking it if I'm trying to get pregnant. And I could go back to my doctor and try like a higher dosage or a different medication, but I'm kind of limited in what I can try right now with trying to get pregnant. So I don't know, I kind of just feel stuck right now. And even just getting ready for this video was like a big deal for me today because I just don't even feel like taking care of myself, getting ready, doing anything. So this was a big deal for me to actually do this. I kind of had to force myself to get on and do it. I've been wanting to make an update video about the fertility stuff, but I just haven't had any motivation to do it. So finally just made myself do it today. Going back to depression though, there's some days where you do feel really down, and I'm not gonna lie, there has been times where I just wanted it all to end. And that's really hard for me to admit because nobody knows that, not even my husband. But there has been times where I was laying in bed and I just thought, like, what would happen if I just take all my blood pressure medication? Or what would happen if I just drive away and never come back? I've never actually had any plans to follow through with those thoughts. They're just thoughts I had, and I'm not suicidal at all. I don't want you to think that. I'm not. But it is thoughts that I've had, and I know a lot of people have those thoughts. You're not alone. Like, you don't have to isolate. You can talk to people. You can call the suicide hotline if you're feeling suicidal. You can reach out to me. I'm willing to talk. I understand a lot of it. And the frustrating part is I understand a lot of what I need to do to feel better, what I need to do to take care of myself, and I just don't do it. I have no energy, no motivation. So it's like you're in this like vicious cycle. You just don't feel like taking care of yourself, even though taking care of yourself would help you feel better. Eating better, exercising, getting good sleep, which I do sleep pretty well. Thankfully, Noah is a good sleeper. He sleeps through the night, so that's not an issue, but I wake up in the morning and I'm still like so exhausted and I don't want to get out of bed. And then I just feel like this brain fog all the time. Like, I just feel like my head is not clear. Like, it just feels not like a headache, but kind of fuzzy, and like, I don't even know how to describe it. It just feels like a fog. Like, I can't get out of it. So that's how I've been feeling lately. The fertility part of it does have a little bit to do with my depression, but also it's just other things. It's things that I don't even know. Like, I've suffered depression even before trying for all this fertility stuff. And sometimes you get depressed and you don't even know why you're feeling like that. It's just, it comes on you and you can't get out of the funk, and I don't know. So that's my take on depression and anxiety. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. If you're also suffering from anxiety and depression and you want to talk to somebody, I'm here to talk. Also, like, I've recently downloaded an app on my phone that gives you, like, daily affirmations, which has been helping me. Like, they pop up on my watch. So, like, the one I saw said, let it hurt, let it heal, let it go. So that's something I've been trying to do. Like, if I'm upset about something or, like, something with the fertility, I have to let it hurt, I have to let it heal, and I have to just let it go. I can't keep dwelling on it because that just makes the depression worse. So I have to try to let it go. I can't control it. It's out of my control. I have to let it go. So that's been helping. I've also been watching like motivational videos on YouTube. I really like those. They help me a lot. I just like listening to them. They give you motivation to actually do something with yourself. So those are a couple things that I've been doing that try to help with my anxiety and depression. I'd love to hear if you have any suggestions, things that help you. I'm looking for like self-help books, self-love books, or just anything that has helped you. I would love to hear it because I'm trying to work on things to kind of get over this, and I don't want to have to just rely on medication. Although I'm not saying medication is a bad thing. If you need to be on medication, that is perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with being on medication. It's just not something that I want to do for myself right now. I mean, if it gets really bad, I might have to consider starting it again. But I kind of want to try to do other methods of controlling my anxiety and depression rather than just the medication. So let me know if you have any suggestions. I also do want to just give a quick update with the fertility journey. So January 2nd, which was a Sunday, I had my first ultrasound, my baseline ultrasound. I had to go to Chesterbrook because it was a weekend. So I had to go all the way to Chesterbrook, which is about an hour from me. So it wasn't terrible, but a little annoying since the Allentown office is about 5 minutes from me. But anyway, I had my baseline ultrasound. Everything looked good for me to start the Clomid again. So I started it that Sunday, that night. I took it Sunday night, I took it Monday night, and then I forgot to take it Tuesday and Wednesday, and I was so mad at myself. I couldn't believe that I forgot something so important and thought that I like messed up the whole cycle, and I was just really upset about it. Usually I set a reminder on my phone to take it every night, and I had forgot to hit the daily button, so when I marked it complete on Sunday, it didn't repeat. And the only reason I remembered to take it Monday night is because I had to work. and I had it in my pocket, and I felt it in my pocket, and then I remembered to take it, and I didn't even think anything about the reminder not going off. So then the rest of the nights, the reminder didn't go off, and for some reason I had it in my nightstand. I should have had it on top of my nightstand so I would see it. So I just completely forgot to take it for 2 nights, and then I was freaking out. I took it that night that I forgot, like realized I forgot. I took one that night, and then I messaged my nurse and asked her if I should take the next 2 doses over the next 2 nights, or if I should just skip them and it's just not going to be as effective. So she messaged back and said it wasn't going to be as effective. She said the doctor recommended that we don't do an IUI this month because the Clomid wouldn't be as effective and it wouldn't be as worth it, I guess. So I thought it was out like this whole cycle. I mean, John and I would try naturally, obviously, but I still wanted to be like monitored to see how my follicle looked and how everything was progressing. So I messaged her back and I asked if we could still do the timed intercourse so that I can see my follicle, get my blood work done, see how my hormones were, and kind of predict a little bit better when I was going to ovulate. So they said I could do that. So she said I could finish the Clomid too. So I did end up taking the missed doses over the next 2 days. It didn't really matter though. It didn't do anything because I went for my next ultrasound on, I think January 10th it was, I want to say, and the follicle was at, I believe, like 15 millimeters, and then later when I got my blood work results, my LH was at 17 point something, which was actually already high for me because with my previous cycle, my first baseline LH was only like 7 point something, and this time it was already at 17, so I was like, okay, that's kind of weird, but my follicle was only 15 millimeters, so they still didn't want me to do the trigger shot yet. After that ultrasound, they told me to come back, I think that was a Monday. They told me to come back Wednesday, which was the 12th, and I got another ultrasound done. My follicle was now at, I think 20 millimeters, like 20.4 millimeters or something, and my LH was 13 point something, which I thought was a little odd because usually when you're about to ovulate, you have like an LH surge, so your LH should be going up, not down, and it wasn't a huge difference, 13 to 17, but it just kind of was like a little weird. So I messaged my nurse. Of course, my anxiety is what it is, and I was freaking out about it, and she just said, like, you know, it can be variable, and it was only a 4-point difference, which, okay, understandable, but it still kind of like was weird to me. So anyway, I was using the ovulation strips as well, and I determined that I most likely was ovulating on Thursday, which I think was the 13th, and I did the trigger shot Wednesday the 12th, because when they called me after I had the ultrasound, they called me with the blood work results, and they said it was time to do the trigger shot. So I did the trigger shot Wednesday night, and then we tried for a couple nights, and hopefully we hit it. I'm in the 2-week wait right now, which the 2-week wait is the worst part of all of it. I hate it so much. I'm so impatient. I'm an impatient person, and I hate waiting. Like, this is just dragging on, and I just hate it. I want it to be next week already. So I find out on the 28th, I go for my blood work. I actually did test, I'm not going to lie, to see if the trigger shot did show up positive on the test, and it does. So I'm kind of like tracking that out on my system so that if I do get a positive, I'll know it's true, which I know this is crazy too. Like, I probably should just wait and stop driving myself crazy with it, but that's just how it is. So yeah, I'm in the 2-week wait right now. I'm hoping that we hit it this month because I'm so tired of going through this. And financially, it's not the easiest either. With the timed intercourse, most of it is actually covered under our insurance, so that's good. But if we want to do the IUI again, it's going to be $1,800, and I mean, we probably could make it work, but it's going to be tight, and I'm not working right now. Like I said in my last video, I had quit my job, and part of that was also because of my anxiety and depression. My mental health is not where it should be right now, and working in the hospital was just making it worse. So that was part of why I decided to leave my job. So with me not working right now, John we are living off his income, which we make work. We're not struggling in that regards, which I'm so thankful for. But adding an $1,800 on top of that is just going to be a little rough. So I'm hoping we don't have to do that. If I'm not pregnant this cycle, I'm not sure if we even will do the IUI next cycle just because of that cost. So we might just try to do the timed intercourse again. But fingers crossed that it worked this time. We'll find out next week. I think that's really it. So, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, reach out to me. I'd love to hear from you. Like I said, I want to hear about any suggestions you have of how you deal with anxiety and depression. And yeah, just let me know, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Noah, I love you so much.
I love you so much.